Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Whitney Ward. We do begin with some breaking news for you at this hour. People living in Spokane County are not able to call 911 right now. The 911 emergency line across Spokane County is experiencing technical difficulties. So if you have an emergency while that line is down, you're going to need to call Crime Check instead. So we have that number right here on your screen, 456-2233. We're told they're not sure when the outage will be able to be fixed, but we are continuing to cover this story. We'll bring you updates just as soon as we have them. Our other top story at this hour, the deadline to remove a cooling tent from the I-90 homeless camp has come and gone, and the tent is still there. The Spokane Fire Marshal is promising a hefty fine, though, for each day that it is still up. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk is live there as the deadline is running out right now. Kyle?
Well, and Whitney, Jules Helping Hands has made it very clear they have no plan to take down this tent anytime soon. Today, the city told us they have no plans to tear it down or issue any fines, at least not today. Now, the city of Spokane doesn't just want this cooling tent taken down. They want Washdot and the State Patrol to start removing this camp altogether. Washdot sent a scathing letter earlier this week saying the city still doesn't have a solid plan to house all these campers. Washdot and the State Patrol met with the city last night. They discussed options for the future of this cooling tent during their meeting. The city told us it was a positive and productive meeting, and they plan to meet again next week. Now, while the city does not plan to issue any fines today, they can be issued retroactively. In Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
All right, Kyle, thank you very much for the update. And another new development today in this ongoing saga from that homeless camp, a threat from Spokane County Sheriff Ozzie Knezevich to clear the camp. Mark Hanrahan is joining us here now to tell us more about the sheriff's plans. Mark?
Well, today Sheriff Knezevich sent a blistering letter to Washdot. He called the conditions at the camp wretched for those people living there and nearby it, and he vows to clear the camp by mid-October. In a letter sent today to the State Secretary of Transportation, Sheriff Ozzie Knezevich took direct aim at Washdot, saying the, quote, tragic situation has continued for more than 9 months without any action on your part. Knezevich says the state's inaction condones criminal activity in and around the camp, thefts, stabbings, rape, and the dumping of raw sewage, and presents a significant health hazard to the Spokane community. He writes, frankly, it would be far safer for Commerce to simply pay a year's worth of rent for the estimated 600 people at the camp than to allow the situation to continue. He also lays out a two-part plan to move people out of the camp. Action 1, provide a bus ticket to each resident at the camp to, quote, allow them to reunite with family. Action number 2, engage with the faith community to help with drug, alcohol, and mental health treatment. The problem at the homeless camp, he writes, has nothing to do with affordable housing, jobs, or the community, and has everything to do with the ongoing crisis fueled by drug and alcohol abuse and the concurrent mental health issues associated with such abuse. Knezevich goes on to say he's seeking an audit of Washdot and contacting the FBI and plans to clear out the camp by mid-October. And he wraps things up by writing, if Washdot wishes to demonstrate their compassion, I suggest that those responsible consider sponsoring a member of this camp with a room in their own homes. The sheriff plans a press conference for tomorrow. Meantime, tonight at 6 o'clock, I'll verify whether the sheriff has the jurisdiction to follow through on his plan to clear the camp since it sits on state property within the city of Spokane. Whitney?
All right, Mark, thank you very much. And just moments ago, we did receive a response to the sheriff's letter from Washdot. That states that a number of state agencies have been working with local nonprofit organizations for months, and also talked about a productive meeting with city leaders yesterday, as the mayor referenced as well. It goes on to say the sheriff's proposal doesn't capture the spirit of those conversations. It reads in part, initial plans to secure the site with fencing are already underway. And while it will take time to fully resolve this encampment, the community will begin to see visible improvements in just the next couple of months.
At the end of the day, I decided it would probably be in the best interest for my career.
Now, in a KREM 2 exclusive, the Spokane Director of Neighborhood, Housing and Human Services, John Hall, announced his resignation yesterday, but says it has nothing to do with how he was treated at City Hall. Just yesterday, Hall announced that he is leaving his position on September 30th. And shortly after that announcement, KREM 2 reached out to City Council President Brian Beggs. He told us it was his understanding that Hall was leaving because he was frustrated with how he's being treated here. But Hall says that's just not true.
Mayor Woodward and her entire team have been welcoming. They've been more than nice, and actually the citizens of Spokane, nearly everyone has been nice, and that's what made the decision a little bit more difficult because so many people have been nice. For me, it came down to the opportunity to start something anew.
Now, Hall has accepted a new position, we're told, in Virginia. He served as director here for just 3 months. And coming up tonight at 5 and 6 on KREM 2, we'll hear more from Hall about his decision to leave this position in Spokane. Spokane police will pay a historic settlement to the family of a man killed by police 3 years ago. In 2019, officers shot and killed 35-year-old David Novak. At the time, they said they believed he was armed with a gun. It was later discovered his weapon was a metal bat, not a firearm. Novak's family sued SPD, saying that officers wrongfully shot and killed him. A trial was supposed to begin today, but in a surprising turn, attorneys on both sides said they reached a settlement. And we've now learned that SPD will pay Novak's family $4 million for David's death. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley had the only camera in the courtroom today that captured this unexpected moment in court. She's here now to share the family's reaction.
Spokane police shot and killed David Novak in January 2019. Since then, his family has protested his death right here outside the Spokane County Courthouse on the 7th day of every month. Now, they've sought justice for David's death for nearly 4 years, and now the wrongful death lawsuit his family filed against the city of Spokane has come to a close. Nearly 4 years ago, Spokane police shot and killed David Novak outside his home. Police say they believed David had a gun when they arrived at his home, but after the shooting, investigators only found a metal bat. 7 months after David's death, the Spokane County prosecutor decided police were justified in using lethal force. This outraged the Novak family.
11 seconds from when you guys said Spokane police until you shot my brother. 11 seconds. Who can react in 11 seconds?
Shortly after this, the Novak family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the city of Spokane.
You guys have no idea what kind of family you're up against.
It took 3 days to select a jury for the trial this week. This morning, that jury was expected to hear opening statements from attorneys. But before the jurors even made it into the courtroom, both parties reached a settlement of $4 million to the Novak family.
For me, it's a win. It's a win for my brother, and he'd be proud.
We can't bring David back, so our goal and our hope is that this saves lives in other ways.
Debbie says they plan to use some of the settlement to further their work in police reform and accountability. The $4 million settlement must now go before the Spokane City Council for formal approval before it can become official. Reporting from the Spokane County Courthouse, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
And tonight, Sandpoint police are investigating a murder at a hotel. An 86-year-old woman, they say, was strangled to death, they believe, at the hands of her son. Officers responded to the Best Western Edgewater Hotel there near City Beach last night. It was around 6 o'clock. They say the woman was found dead inside her hotel room. Her 57-year-old son, who was still at the hotel, was arrested. The pair had traveled from Arizona to visit friends. A fatal motorcycle crash overnight may have been caused by street racing. Witnesses on scene told us they heard 2 motorcycles racing when one of them crashed into a telephone pole. They say one person was pronounced dead at the scene. Witnesses say the other motorcycle driver quickly left the area. There was a brief utility outage, although those services have since been restored. Well, it certainly felt like it outside today, officially the first day of fall. It started strong with rain and gray skies all afternoon, but our chief meteorologist Jeremy Legou says, hey, this is just short-lived, right? There's better weather ahead, it sounds like.
Yeah, Whitney, the message here is don't get out the socks just yet.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Right now, we sit at 69 degrees under overcast skies. I look out to the west, starting to see some breaks in those clouds and even a little bit of sunshine. You might smell a little bit of smoke. That little bit of a smoky haze puts us at moderate in terms of AQI. We likely stay that way into tomorrow, just with some of the wind kicking up. But as things settle tomorrow and we build in a nicer, cleaner air pattern, we're talking big time improvements in just about everything. So let's talk about it. Storm works its way out. Forgot to hit save. The low is actually right there. I'll fix that. The showers move out of North Idaho. We're going to watch those depart the region in the next couple of hours. As they depart, we might see a little bit of sun in eastern Washington before it goes down tonight. Tomorrow, a mix of clouds and sun. We're partly cloudy during the day with temperatures overnight falling down into the upper 40s in Spokane, St. Mary's, and parts of the Palouse. You head north, you don't have to go far. Deer Park down to 4D, just 40. Colville 41, same with Republic, but by tomorrow afternoon, those 40s and 41s turn to near 70. We're near 70 in Spokane, upper 60s in North Idaho, and mid 70s out in central Washington.
Jeremy, since you brought it up, what is your threshold to wear socks? Is there a temperature that we talk about that you'll suddenly decide that it is cold enough to start wearing socks?
Basically, when I start feeling a little bit cold, I'll throw some socks on. But really, as soon as we hit like 40, I'm just putting socks on every day.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll wait for that day, Jeremy. Thank you very much. Still to come tonight, federal interest rates going up yet again. We'll let you know what that means coming up right after the break.